Welcome to Smart Home Tidbits, where Sarah and John, your AI guides, summarize the latest in smart living, keeping you informed and inspired in just minutes. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to Smart Home Tidbits. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the world of Z-Wave.
Z-Wave.
What makes Z-Wave so special in the world of smart homes?
Well, it's not just hype. When you consider that Z-Wave controls over 70% of professionally installed smart homes in North America.
Wow, 70%. That's a huge chunk of the market.
It really is. And it shows that installers, the pros who work with this technology day in and day out, they see the value in Z-Wave.
Okay, so installers love it. But why? What makes Z-Wave stand out from all the other smart home protocols out there?
One of the key things is focus. Unlike some other protocols that try to be a jack of all trades, Z-Wave was designed specifically for home automation. It's laser-focused on the needs of a smart home.
So it's purpose-built. That makes sense. But what does that mean in terms of actual benefits? What are the things that make installers go, yeah, this is the good stuff?
Reliability is a big one. Z-Wave is known for its rock-solid performance. It just works. And that's crucial in a smart home environment where you're relying on this technology to control essential aspects of your home. And then there's the low power consumption, which is super important for battery-operated devices.
Yeah, no one wants to be changing batteries every other week. It's annoying and just not practical.
Right. And then there's the mesh networking.
Ah, mesh networking. I've heard that term thrown around a lot, but to be honest, I'm not entirely sure how it works. Can you give us the ELI5 version?
Okay, so picture this. Each Z-Wave device in your home is like a little node in a network. Instead of relying on one central hub to connect everything, each device can act as a repeater, passing the signal along to other devices.
So it's like a relay race for data.
Exactly. And the brilliance of this is that if one device goes offline for whatever reason, the signal can simply hop to another device and find a different route.
So no more single points of failure. That's a huge relief.
Right. It's a self-healing network, and that means fewer headaches for installers and more peace of mind for homeowners.
Speaking of homeowners, I'm curious about the devices themselves. What kind of gadgets are we talking about here? Give us the Z-Wave device rundown.
Oh, the Z-Wave world is vast and full of amazing devices. You've got everything from the essential smart plugs and lighting controls.
Yeah, those are pretty much Smart Home 101, right?
They are. But then you get into some really cool stuff like smart thermostats, radiator valves, air purifiers, door locks, even in-wall outlets.
In-wall outlets.
Yeah.
It's pretty slick. So basically, you can imagine it being smart. There's probably a Z-Wave version of it.
Pretty much. The top 10 list globally includes smart plugs, video doorbells, and smart lighting. But it gets really interesting when you start looking at regional differences.
Oh, like what?
Well, for example, in the UK, France, and Germany, you see a big surge in popularity for thermostats and radiator valves. Makes sense, right? Different climates, different needs.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it also highlights the diversity of the Z-Wave ecosystem, right? There's something for everyone everywhere.
Absolutely. It's a global phenomenon with local flavors. But no matter where you are in the world, one thing remains constant.
And that is?
Security. You can't talk about smart homes without addressing the security concerns that come with connecting all these devices.
You're right. It's something that's always on my mind. No one wants their smart home turning into a hacker's playground.
Absolutely not. And the good news is that Z-Wave takes security very seriously.
Okay, give me the details. How does Z-Wave keep our homes safe from digital intruders?
For starters, Z-Wave uses AES 128 encryption. That's the same level of encryption that banks use to protect your online transactions.
AES 128 encryption. That sounds pretty serious.
It is. It means your Z-Wave network is protected by some of the strongest encryption technology available.
Okay, that's reassuring, but is that all?
Nope. There's more. All Z-Wave devices have to go through a mandatory certification process to make sure they meet stringent security standards. This isn't just a marketing gimmick. It's about independent verification that these devices are built with security in mind from the ground up.
So it's not just about trust. It's about proven security.
I like that. And then we have the Z-Wave Security S2 framework.
S2 framework. What's that all about?
Okay, think of it this way. The S2 framework is like a bodyguard for your Z-Wave network. It's designed to prevent a very specific type of attack called a man-in-the-middle attack.
Man-in-the-middle attack. Sounds scary.
It can be. Basically, it's where someone tries to intercept communication between devices. But the S2 framework uses something called elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman for secure key exchange.
Elliptic curve. Okay, you lost me there. Can you break it down for us non-cryptographers?
Basically, it's like a secret handshake between devices that makes it extremely difficult for unauthorized parties to listen in on their conversations. It's a very robust way to prevent eavesdropping and tampering.
So it's like a digital bouncer, keeping the unwanted guests out of our smart home party.
Exactly. And the best part is that any Z-Wave device certified after April 2017 is required to have this S2 framework. So if you're buying a Z-Wave system today, you know you're getting the latest and greatest security features.
That's good news for everyone. Okay, so we've covered security, but there's another big topic we need to address: interoperability.
Interoperability. Ah, yes, the holy grail of smart homes. The ability for devices from different manufacturers to work together seamlessly. And did you know that over 60% of U.S. smart home device owners now say that interoperability is their top priority?
That's huge. I guess no one wants to be stuck with a bunch of devices that can't talk to each other.
Right. You don't want your smart home to feel like a Tower of Babel. And this is where Z-Wave really shines. It's built on the principle of interoperability.
But how does Z-Wave actually ensure that devices from different brands can play nicely together?
The secret sauce is the Z-Wave Alliance. They set these interoperability standards, and they rigorously test devices to make sure they actually adhere to those standards. It's like having a governing body that makes sure everyone is speaking the same language and following the same rules.
So it's like a United Nations for smart home devices.
I love that. It's about creating a harmonious ecosystem where devices can coexist and collaborate regardless of who made them.
Okay, so we've talked about the big picture: security, interoperability, reliability.
Yeah.
But let's get a bit more granular and explore how these translate into tangible benefits for installers.
Sure. So imagine you're an installer, right? You walk into a home that already has a Z-Wave network set up. Instead of having to deal with a bunch of incompatible devices, you've got a system that's ready to welcome new devices with open arms.
Makes sense. It's like having a pre-built foundation for your smart home. Saves a lot of time and hassle.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the initial setup. It's about the peace of mind of knowing that you can easily expand the system later on as the homeowner's needs evolve.
Expandability is key.
Right. You're not locked into a specific set of devices. And with everyone playing by the same rules thanks to those interoperability standards, troubleshooting becomes so much easier. It's about minimizing those frustrating moments where you're trying to figure out why this device isn't talking to that device.
It's all about reducing friction, both for the installer and the homeowner.
Exactly. It's about making smart homes as seamless and intuitive as possible, and Z-Wave is a huge part of that.
Well, I think it's safe to say that Z-Wave seems like a dream come true for installers. Reliable, secure, interoperable, easy to work with. But I think it's time to geek out a little bit and talk about the technical side of things.
Time to get into the Gus Z-Wave.
Now, I know our listeners are a savvy bunch, but we don't want to get too lost in the weeds here. Keep it accessible, okay?
Don't worry, I'll keep it high level. But I do think it's important to highlight the sheer depth of the Z-Wave protocol. And one way to appreciate that is by looking at the abundance of command classes found in the Z-Wave specifications.
Command classes. That sounds intriguing. But what are they exactly?
Well, you can think of command classes as specialized languages that allow different types of devices to communicate with each other and carry out specific actions within the Z-Wave network.
So instead of having one giant language that every device needs to learn, there are these smaller, more focused languages tailored to different types of devices.
Precisely. It's like having a modular approach to communication, which makes the whole system more efficient and organized.
Okay, that makes sense. Give me some examples.
All right. Let's start with barrier operator, which is all about controlling things like garage doors and gates. Being able to open your garage door remotely as you pull into your driveway. That's Z-Wave in action.
Now that you mention it, I actually have a Z-Wave garage door opener, and it's been a game changer. No more fumbling with my keys in the dark.
Right. It's those little everyday conveniences that make smart homes so appealing.
Absolutely.
Well,
okay, what else?
How about central scene? This command class is all about managing scenes and lighting automations. Imagine being able to set the perfect mood lighting for a romantic dinner with just a tap on your phone.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Right. And it's all thanks to the power of Z-Wave.
Okay, I'm starting to see how these command classes make smart homes truly smart. It's way more than just turning lights on and off remotely.
You got it. It's about creating experiences and automating comfort and convenience. And then there's thermostat mode for controlling heating and cooling systems.
Oh, that's a good one. Being able to adjust your thermostat from anywhere in the world, that's a must-have these days.
Absolutely. It's about having control over your environment and making sure your home is always comfortable, no matter where you are.
I'm sold. These command classes are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So what else is there? What other tricks can Z-Wave do?
Oh, we're just scratching the surface here. There's also user code for managing user access and security settings, and association, which defines how devices interact with each other. It's incredible.
The more I learn about Z-Wave, the more I'm impressed by the sheer thought and engineering that has gone into creating this system.
It really is remarkable, and we've only just begun to explore its capabilities. But I think we've laid a solid foundation for understanding why Z-Wave is so popular, especially with the pros who install these systems every day.
It's definitely been an eye-opening conversation. So for our listeners out there, if you're curious about Z-Wave and want to learn more, stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll be exploring the fascinating connection between Z-Wave and smart home insurance.
It's going to be a thought-provoking discussion about risk, rewards, and the future of home protection.
Can't wait.
See you there! Welcome back to Smart Home Tidbits, ready to explore how Z-Wave is shaking up the world of smart home insurance.
Okay, now this is where things get really interesting for me. I get how Z-Wave makes homes smarter, but insurance, how does that fit into the picture?
Well, you know those discounts you get for having a security system?
Yeah, sure.
It's kind of like that, but on a much bigger scale. Z-Wave has the potential to completely change how insurance companies assess risk and interact with homeowners.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Think about all the data a Z-Wave system can collect. You know, stuff like water leak detection, door lock status, even energy consumption patterns.
Right.
This information is pure gold for insurance companies.
So instead of relying on, like, historical data and those really broad risk assessments.
Exactly. It's a game changer. It allows insurers to move from a reactive approach to a proactive one.
Proactive. What do you mean by that?
Well, let's say a Z-Wave water sensor detects a leak early on. The homeowner gets an immediate alert and can take steps to minimize the damage.
Right.
Not only does that save the homeowner a huge headache, but it also potentially saves the insurance company a massive payout.
So it's a win-win situation.
Absolutely. And as this kind of data becomes more readily available, we could see insurers offering these really personalized policies, like tailored to individual homeowners' smart home setups and behaviors.
So instead of a one-size-fits-all policy.
Exactly. Insurers could offer lower premiums to homeowners who demonstrate they're using their smart home systems responsibly, to actually mitigate risks.
I can see the appeal, but wouldn't sharing all this data with my insurance company feel a bit like, Big Brother's watching me?
That's a valid concern. Privacy is super important, and it's something both insurers and smart home tech providers need to address head-on. It's all about finding that balance between the benefits of data sharing and protecting homeowners' privacy.
So transparency is key.
Absolutely. Clear consent, making sure homeowners know exactly what data is being shared and for what purpose, and rock-solid data security are non-negotiable.
Okay, so transparency and security are must-haves. But what about those incentives you mentioned earlier? What kind of perks can homeowners expect?
Well, studies show that a lot of people are willing to share data if it means saving money, right?
Makes sense.
So insurers could offer discounts on premiums or maybe even help subsidize the cost of Z-Wave devices to encourage adoption.
So let me get this straight. By installing a Z-Wave system, I could potentially save money on my insurance, prevent costly damage to my home, and maybe even get some cool new gadgets in the process.
You got it. It's about aligning incentives and creating a system where everyone benefits. And for installers, this opens up a whole new world of opportunity.
Oh, how so?
Well, now you're not just installing smart home systems, you're installing peace of mind and potentially financial benefits for your clients.
So it's like becoming a smart home insurance consultant as well as an installer.
Exactly. It's about expanding your expertise and offering a more holistic approach to smart home living. Helping clients understand the bigger picture, not just the individual devices.
That's a great point. But it's important to remember that Z-Wave is just one piece of the puzzle, right? I mean, there are other smart home technologies out there.
Of course. A truly smart home is one that integrates multiple technologies seamlessly. We've been focusing on Z-Wave today because it's just so robust and reliable, but there are other players in the game.
So it's not about Z-Wave versus the world. It's about understanding how Z-Wave can fit into a larger smart home ecosystem.
You nailed it. It's about finding the right tools for the job and understanding how different technologies can work together to create a really comprehensive and intelligent home environment.
Well, I have to say, we've covered a lot of ground today, from Z-Wave basics to its potential impact on the insurance industry.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. But before we move on, there's one more aspect of Z-Wave that I think deserves our attention.
Oh, I'm all ears. What's on your mind?
We've talked about how Z-Wave can make homes smarter and safer.
Right?
But what about making them more, well, fun?
Fun. I like where you're going with this. Tell me more.
From what I've been reading, Z-Wave isn't just about practicality. It's also about enhancing the overall enjoyment of your home. Creating a space that's truly personalized and reflects your lifestyle.
Absolutely. It's about creating an environment that caters to your needs and preferences, whether that's through personalized lighting, automated entertainment systems, or even integrating your favorite streaming services.
Right. It's not just about the individual features. It's about how those features work together to create a seamless and intuitive experience, where the technology fades into the background and just makes life better.
Exactly. A truly smart home isn't about gadgets. It's about creating a home that feels truly yours, a space that adapts to you and makes you feel good.
I love that. And I think it's a great reminder that smart homes should be fun and enjoyable, not just practical and efficient.
Absolutely. It's all about finding that balance between functionality and enjoyment, between practicality and personality.
Well said. So for our listeners out there who are thinking about taking the plunge into the Z-Wave world, remember, you're not just investing in technology, you're investing in a more convenient, secure, and yes, even more fun home.
And for those of you who are already familiar with Z-Wave, I hope this deep dive has given you some new insights and maybe even inspired you to explore some of the more fun and creative aspects of your smart home system.
So there you have it, folks. Part 2 of our deep dive into the amazing world of Z-Wave.
Be sure to join us for part 3, where we'll be getting into the really nitty-gritty technical details of how Z-Wave actually works. We'll be talking protocols, frequencies, the whole shebang.
It's going to be geeky and awesome.
See you there.
Welcome back to Smart Home Tidbits. Get ready to geek out because today we're diving deep into the technical inner workings of Z-Wave.
It's time to roll up our sleeves and get into the nuts and bolts of this amazing technology.
But before we get lost in the weeds of all the technical details, can we do a quick recap of what Z-Wave is for anyone who might missed parts 1 and 2?
Absolutely. In a nutshell, Z-Wave is a wireless communication protocol designed specifically for smart homes. It's like the secret language that all your smart devices understand, allowing them to talk to each other and work together seamlessly.
So it's kind of like a digital party line, but way more sophisticated.
Yeah, that's a fun way to put it. And just like a good party line, Z-Wave needs rules to keep things organized. That's where the technical nitty-gritty comes in.
Okay, I'm ready to learn the rules of this high-tech party. What's the first thing we need to know about Z-Wave?
Let's start with the foundation. Frequency Z-Wave operates in the sub-gigahertz range, specifically around 900 megahertz.
900 megahertz. Okay, that sounds pretty technical. Why is the frequency so important?
Well, for one thing, it's a less crowded part of the radio spectrum. That means fewer chances of interference from other devices like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. A clear signal is essential for a reliable smart home.
Right, so it's like having a dedicated lane on the digital highway, less traffic and fewer interruptions.
Exactly. And here's another reason. Lower frequencies, they actually have better range and can penetrate walls more effectively.
Well, that makes sense.
That's a big part of why Z-Wave is so good at blanketing your entire home with a strong and stable signal.
Okay, so we've got a clear channel and strong signals. Check. What's next on our Z-Wave technical tour?
Now it's time to talk about mesh networking. This is one of the coolest features of Z-Wave, and it's a big reason why it's so reliable.
Mesh networking. Okay, that rings a bell, but remind me how it works again.
Picture this. Each Z-Wave device in your home is like a little node in this network. Instead of relying on a single hub to connect everything, each device can act as a repeater, passing the signal along to other devices.
So it's like a game of digital hot potato, but with like important data instead of an actual potato.
Love that analogy. And the beauty of this setup is that if one device goes offline, for any reason, the signal can just hop over to another device and find a different route.
So that's how it avoids those single points of failure.
Exactly. It creates a self-healing network, which, keeps your smart home humming along even if something goes wrong. And to make it even better, Z-Wave's routing algorithm is super smart. It's constantly analyzing the network and figuring out the most efficient path for the signal to travel.
So it's not just randomly hopping around.
Nope. It's strategic routing, all in the name of optimal performance.
Okay. Starting to understand why Z-Wave's such a popular choice now. It's like having a digital guardian angel looking after your smart home. But what about those command classes we talked about earlier? How do those fit into this whole network picture?
Ah, yes, the command classes. They're really crucial to how Z-Wave devices actually function. Each command class, remember, defines a set of specific functions and commands that a device can understand.
Right, like specialized languages for different devices?
Exactly. It's like having a toolbox full of specialized tools, each one designed for a particular job. And the best part is that the Z-Wave Alliance is constantly developing and refining these command classes to make sure everything stays interoperable and to expand what Z-Wave can do.
So it's like a constantly evolving language for smart home devices.
Exactly. It's really quite impressive, and it's a testament to the dedication of the Z-Wave Alliance and their commitment to making sure that this technology stays cutting edge, always at the forefront of the smart home world.
Well, I think we did it. We made it through the technical maze of Z-Wave.
And hopefully we cleared up some of the jargon along the way.
Definitely learned a lot today. It's more complex than I initially thought, but honestly, I think it's that complexity that makes Z-Wave such a powerful and versatile technology.
You got it. It's not just about connecting devices, It's about creating a truly intelligent and responsive home environment, one that can adapt and evolve over time. And for that, you need a sophisticated protocol that can handle all the intricacies of a truly smart home.
So for all of our listeners out there who are thinking about diving into the world of smart homes, if you're looking for a system that's reliable, secure, and future-proof, one that just works, Z-Wave might just be the perfect solution you've been searching for.
Couldn't agree more. And remember, whether you're a seasoned smart home pro or you're just starting out on your smart home journey, there's always more to discover, more to learn about this incredible world of connected technology. Keep exploring, keep innovating, and keep making your home smarter and more enjoyable.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into Z-Wave. Thanks for tuning into Smart Home Tidbits. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Smart Home Tidbits. Join Sarah and John next time for more smart insights.